Hello Cancer, Elsie here to do a weekly read for you. How are you Cancer? How you doing? And happy birthday. I am starting the weeklies with you. So watch out for this week because this week you're getting weeklies. You're also getting a monthly reading and we're going to see how all of that is going to work out for you coming up in your season, my friend. So right now we are in the pre-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde. Mercury will be in retrograde in your sign, and right now we're the plot is being revealed at this time about what might go down next. Cancer, you might be feeling a little bit nostalgic, maybe emotionally reflective at this time. Let's find out what's going on for you and your weekly, friend. Tell me about Cancer. Weekly read, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter Cancer for their birthday month. Tell me about Cancer. There we go. We've got the Knight of Swords. So something is on the move here. It does feel like something is moving forward, or you are, I would say, becoming clear about what is coming up next. It almost feels like I said the plot is unfolding. It feels like you're about to move forward, possibly from a place of not really knowing what is going on. It feels like you've been left with this feeling of something, but you're not quite sure what the details are. So the Knight of Swords is the one who's moving quickly, but we've got the Six of Swords as well, and 1 and 6 is 7. So I'm saying something's concealed, or maybe something here that you've been thinking about. It does feel like you are thinking about something that you are keeping to yourself or not revealing to others. We do have the 5 of Pentacles. It might be that you're feeling detached from someone, or thinking about someone nostalgically, emotionally, that you haven't spoken to in quite some time. So if you are feeling a little bit nostalgic at this time, I think Mercury retrograde pre-shadow is doing its thing. It went into the pre-shadow phase on the 12th. We've got the Chariot. Look at that. There you are, right there. So it feels like you're really trying hard to discipline your feelings. I feel like you're trying to shove it all down, shove it underneath so you don't say it on the surface. Because if it does bubble to the surface, it's just going to come out. So I feel like you're really doing your best to discipline your feelings. Cancer energy is here. This is about disciplining emotion, right? Cancer energy, you always play under the surface until you really trust someone. It feels like you're trying to get your balance, or you're trying to discipline maybe your words or your thoughts. Like, stop thinking about that. Like, it feels like somebody's like, why am I all of a sudden thinking about that person? Heart of the matter is this. Okay, Cancer, it feels like you might be in this feeling, this nostalgic feeling of, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what they're up to. It almost feels as though you probably wouldn't say no to unity or to meeting this person for a coffee. It does feel like the 3 of Cups, it does feel like something you were thinking about something, and if it were ever to come back together again, how would you feel about that? But I feel at this time you're really doing your best to bottle up your feelings, keep everything under the surface, and just keep really steadily on your way forward. It does feel like a reunion is something that could be on your mind. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to take action. I mean, we do have the Knight of Swords that maybe wants to say something, but the discipline of the Chariot, while moving forward, I just really need to keep it to myself. We've got the Hierophant here. Yeah, I don't know that you're going to budge from there. I don't think that we've got the Hierophant and the 5 of Pentacles. Those are both Taurian energies. And so it doesn't feel to me that you're ready to step out and say, hey, I'm over here. Like, I don't think you're going to be calling anybody, speaking to anybody. I feel like these are nostalgic feelings for now. You're thinking about things. You're also thinking about how chaotic it used to be until you move to the calm, and maybe how things are calm around you now. But it does feel like, nonetheless, you are feeling like out on the outside looking in. This could be due to a ghosting. It could be due to just having not had contact with this person in some time. We do have Cups, and at the center of the read, that's always the heart of the matter when I do a 9-card draw, right? And so at the heart of the matter, I do feel that you wouldn't say no to a reunion if somebody approached you, but I do feel that you're not moving. It feels like, no, I'm not moving an inch. No, no, no. I'm going to stay on the outside looking in for now. Tell me more about Cancer. We've got the Knight of Cups. So I do feel that you are feeling nostalgic, romantic. It feels like you are feeling romantic nostalgia. That's what it does feel like. But the thing is with the Knight of Cups, when the Knight of Cups shows up, please remember that there is a lot of potential that you saw in the situation from the past, I believe, and that's what you're probably thinking about. And I wonder if you're feeling like, what would happen if I made a move or if they made a move? It feels like you are thinking, what if we did see each other again? But the Knight of Cups, understand, is falling in love with potential. It's a little bit of fantasy energy. It's feeling, not remembering the bad times, but really feeling all of the good times and wondering what that person is doing. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. So I feel like a lot of time has passed, and I feel that you've grown quite a bit since the last time that you may have spoken to this person. We've got the Strength card here. I still feel, though, Cancer, that somebody here still needs to face their fears. What I mean about that is I feel as though that you are feeling courageous enough to stay where you are, not push forward, not dial the number or text the person. I feel like you still have not faced some type of fear. I think the fear that you're facing or not facing is the fear of standing alone. I don't think you want to be alone. I think you want to grow romantically with someone, but it does feel as though you have a certain someone in mind, and I feel as though the Hierophant is giving me stubborn, standing on business energy. No, I'm not going to be the one to step forward. If they want me, they can step forward. So it feels as though no one is stepping forward. But the Knight of Swords, I feel, is somebody that wants to. I'm just going to say, though, with the Six of Swords, it feels like we've already moved on, and it feels like you don't know why. Seven Swords. It feels like you don't know why I had to move on. So I'm going to say that it doesn't feel like it was your choice. That maybe someone let go of you and then just never spoke with you again. It almost feels like unfinished business. I'm going to put two cards here. We're going to look at them in the extended. I'm going to just show you what's under the surface at this time, that possibly something you can't see just yet. We have the Five of Wands. And we have the Two of Cups in the reverse. So I think there's indecision here, which is the Five of Wands. Cancer, it feels as though you are in indecision because you still don't know how you feel about this person. It feels as though there has been quite some time that's passed, and I do feel that you have practiced self-mastery. It feels like you have grown, or you've grown a business. You've grown in the 3D quite a bit, I would say. But the one thing you haven't quite grown is facing some type of fear. I'm just going to say, Cancer, I don't know all of you because you're all a very different Cancer, but I'm feeling somebody here who isn't willing to commit, or who knows that if they do step forward, then they're going to have to step forward with some sort of commitment. So I feel like there's somebody here who has a fear of commitment. I don't want to look at that thing. I don't want to look at the commitment, because with the Two of Cups in the reverse, it almost feels like you're not sure if you're a right fit. Somebody else was very immature in not being able to commit. One of you was not being able to commit. And tell me about the Six of Swords here, because it does feel like we have moved forward on this, but it almost feels like given the chance you would press forward. The Knight of Swords is bringing in a message, though, bringing in talking, messages, communication of some sort, and it is kind of aggressive. But then I look at this Chariot energy, and the Chariot energy is moving very quickly as well, but it's water. And so it almost feels like somebody here wants to say something, but is really holding themselves back until they get more balance. But I don't think that you would say no to a reunion if somebody contacted you first. We've got the Judgment card in the reverse. I think that you feel that someone misjudged you. I think it was someone else that pulled the plug or moved away. like moved away from you, or possibly they moved away, like physically. But it feels like the Judgment card in the reverse tells me, one, it wasn't the time. This would have changed your path in a way that you weren't sure you were ready to commit to. And so this Judgment card remains in the reverse. I don't think that this person is coming back around unless you decide you want to go back around. The Judgment card in the reverse tells me this isn't something that's going to be coming back around for you again, but I think because Mercury is about to go retrograde in your sign, that you are having emotional reflection. And I think that's what this is. The Queen of Wands is in the reverse. See, I see you sitting your ass on the sofa. I don't see you really taking initiative. I don't think you're the one that's going to take initiative and find the person's number or find them online or whatever. It doesn't feel like that. We got the King of Wands in the upright. Isn't that interesting? It's an interesting... we call that a paradox of energy, because we've got the Queen of Wands in the reverse and we've got the King of Wands in the upright. One of you wants to see the other one. One of you is still attracted. One of you still wants to run out there and get the other one. I don't know which is which. Are you the feminine or are you the masculine? Because it feels like that the masculine is thinking about what would happen if I did try and pursue this again. But the Queen of Wands is in the reverse. To me, that's the feminine energy. Somebody may not be single, because in the reverse, this person is not really, I would say they're not really busy, not really doing anything. This person, though, I feel is not doing things independently. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they've got someone else who is doing things for them. And also, I feel like that might be why this person has not been coming round. They could be in another relationship. Tell me about the Chariot, please. I think that if this person showed up and said, hey, you want to meet me for a coffee? You probably would not say no, because the Chariot is right here next to the Three of Cups. We do have the Seven of Wands, though. I do think your boundaries have changed. And I think you have become a person of very sharp words. I think you would go. Yep, the Eight of Wands tells me you would push forward. The Chariot tells me you would push forward, but you'd be very stoic on the surface because the King of Swords is here. I don't think you would speak your feelings or speak, but I think you would be curious to see what that person is up to. The King of Swords tells me that you'd be very sharp and wouldn't sugarcoat a damn thing, but it also feels like you have a very different, you've grown in different ways, which is I feel like you have boundaries. You have boundaries, and I feel as though if that person did contact you and want to see you, that you may say yes, but I don't think that you would, how can I say? I don't think it would be the running at each other across the beach kind of reunion. Do you know what I mean? It would be very, I feel like these are very sharp words. I'm just going to say, when I see fire and air beside each other, it does feel like, this feels like very fast truth. It feels like spitting truth. Do you know what I mean? Well, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Why did you just disconnect? Why did you just ghost me? It feels like a bunch of questions coming at once. Tell me about the Hierophant. This also could be someone you were married to, or someone you had a commitment with, or someone that you failed to commit to, or failed to commit to you. I'm just going to say it. I think it's from your side. I think you were the person who just was non-committal. I feel like this is the energy of, I'm not really sure if you're my person now. If you're not sure that that person is the person for you, then it's good that you are non-committal. And when I say non-committal, I just say without commitment, because it feels like that's the thing that you have yet to face. Tell me about the Hierophant. I think the other person may have wanted to commit, and I don't think you wanted to. We've got the Eight of Cups. You may have been the person who pulled away emotionally. Got the Four of Pentacles and then closed off and shut down. But I don't think you let go of them necessarily, but I do feel you did pull your emotional energy back. So look, I think the ball's in your court is what I want to say, because the Magician has realized that the energy of being in power has shifted to me. And I mean you. So I feel like you know that you have the tools. You know where they are. You probably could reach out and say, hey, how you doing? But I feel like the Hierophant is saying, no, I'm not going to do it. They want me, they can come get me. So the Magician energy tells me, ball's in your court. The energy has shifted back to you. You probably took back your power with the Four of Pentacles here. It feels like you're the one that pulled away because somebody didn't want to commit. You may not have wanted to commit. They may not have wanted to commit. But I think it was over commitment issues. And when I say commit, I think that we were going to another level here, because we got the 5. Before the 5 comes the 4, and the 4 to me is going to the next level. So someone may have wanted you to commit to marriage or move in with them or something like that, and I don't think you were down for it. Or this is something that you were not yet ready to face. Maybe you asked, can we just not do this quickly? Maybe you felt it was too quickly. Tell me about the 8 of Pentacles. I feel like you've grown past this, honestly. I feel like you've grown much since the situation happened. So maybe it's a few years since this happened, but I still feel that you are thinking only about the good times, because when the Knight of Pentacles shows up, sorry, the Knight of Cups, when the Knight of Cups shows up, it's Neptunian energy. And that is sort of like, you know, running off into the distance, into the sunset, and, you know, that kind of thing. It's dreamy sort of energy. So you might be daydreaming about it. It might be slipping back into your mind's eye at this time. We've got the 9 of Wands. We've got the 10 of Cups, and we've got the Lovers. So you may even be in another relationship. You could have even had a family, but it feels like this person is on your mind. And if they are on your mind, whether you're single or in a relationship or whatever you're doing, I feel like there is a little part of you that misses them. Doesn't mean you want them back. Doesn't mean that you'll even pursue them to get them back. Some of you will, though, with the King of Wands and the upright. But it does feel like somebody here is like, I wonder whatever happened to them. That's what it feels like. But that's a normal type of energy to feel when Mercury is in retrograde, and especially when it's in a water sign like you. You're deeply feeling, you're deeply emotional, and all of us are going to be feeling this over this retrograde period. Mercury will be retrograde almost all the way through July. With the post retrograde, it's going to be into August. So yeah, I think it comes out of retrograde or goes direct on the 23rd of July. And then after that, it'll be another week and a half or two until things get moving back again the way they were. So we're going to go into the extended. We're going to talk about who this might be. This could be an Aries. This could be someone who you felt judged by, who you felt misjudged by, like they totally got you wrong. That maybe they felt because you pulled your energy back that you didn't want them anymore. But I think what you were trying to do is saying, whoa, 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 I'm not going to commit immediately. And maybe somebody here was trying to get you to slam a ring on it, or that you wanted to slam a ring on it. I don't know. But it feels like somebody here was not really wanting the commitment, maybe not forever, but not at this time. It feels like it was probably moving too fast. We got fast-moving energy, fast-moving questioning, fast-moving energy, trying to keep my balance, trying to keep my crap together, while somebody here is trying to press me for answers, and I don't even know if they are my person or not. I haven't even shared the deepest parts of me yet. You may have felt that you weren't sufficiently emotionally bonded to this person, and so you weren't ready to share everything with them. Nonetheless, commit to them. So it does feel like either you have moved along or they have. I really do feel this is you, that you've moved along, you found a new happiness, possibly a new person, but the 9 of Wands tells me you still feel a little bit of something. You still feel like you were done wrong, or that somebody owes you an apology, or it feels like at this time it's coming back up again. We've got the 7 of Cups here, and we've got the 4 of Cups. It does feel like there is still this overwhelming feeling of emotional rejection whenever you think about this person. I'm just going to say. We're going to go into the extended, and we will talk more about that. If you want to be in the extended with us, then please go to the pinned comment. At the top of the comments, there is a pinned comment, and there you will find the link to the membership area, which is where I put all of the extendeds if you're interested in going there. And if you're interested in a private reading for yourself, please take the link to Hypsee and check out my packages and pricing. And I am going to go into the extended. We're going to read the rest of this if you would like to come there. Don't forget, you do have a monthly reading coming up in the next week or so, and I will get back to you with that. Happy birthday, friends. I hope you have a lovely, lovely Cancer season. I'll be back because I'm always back. Take care. See you in the extended. Bye-bye.